Hi everyone, I'm so happy you're with me today. My name is Soraya. Thanks for joining me. So I'm going to be showing you how I painted a painting from beginning to end only with my sponges. So it's a beginning to end, meaning that it's all done in one take. I didn't go back to it a day or two later. It's all done in one take. And I cut out because sometimes I'm just putting down colors or whatever, but it is really done just in one day. And I didn't use any brushes. I'd used my 5 sponges, and you'll see what happens. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the painting. Okay, I'm starting with a 20 by 24 gallery wrap canvas, and I'm doing it horizontal. And I'm gonna try and do all this in the time that you're going to be watching me. So 20 minutes maybe and under. I don't know. Let's see how it works out. I'm going to see if I can. Usually I spend a lot of time with my paintings, but I wanted to give myself that challenge. Can I do it? I don't know. So far I'm liking this. That was a bit of Payne's gray. No, it was blue gray, not Payne's gray. Blue gray, titanium white, and sky blue light. And I don't want too many swirlies. And I will be changing up the sponge, because if I want to add another color, I don't want it to be mixed up with these colors that I'm using. So now that's still the blue gray here, but I'm adding a little bit. See how much different that looks of the Payne's gray. I'm going to do the same thing here, kind of darken up those corners. I'm just using a very light touch. And my sponge is dry, the canvas is dry. And basically I'm doing a kind of intuition. Whatever I see that I like, kind of gonna follow what I see is happening as it's happening. So now I turn the sponge around, and I'm gonna use this part here, basically the edge of it. Just trying to be very light as I go along. Clean up those edges, and hopefully I can. I've never attempted this, so I don't know, but I've never done a painting beginning to end kind of live. It's not really live, but you know what I mean. It's like beginning to end in one video. Usually I cut away and then I take a few days. But this time I'm gonna do the whole thing. And it's a small enough canvas that I think it can be done. I just want to show you that it can be done. And now I do have my sponges, and I don't want to limit myself. So if I find that I need some brushes or any other, I will take them out and use them. I have them here next to me. Okay, that's good. Now I think I might have to cut away just to add more paint to my canvas or to my palette here. But so far I like the way this is looking. Same sponge, haven't changed it up. Okay. I'm gonna get some more white. Same sponge and a little bit of white. Now, I'm gonna get some kind of a horizon here. I don't want it to be too precise. Doesn't have to be straight across, just something. Okay, now on the same sponge, I have some dioxazine purple. That's a lot. I'm gonna take a little bit off. And just do a little bit. Oh no! Okay, I have some of the yellow on there because I was planning on using it. So, wow. Okay. Big mistake there, but that's okay. I'm going to try and fix it as I'm going along. Okay, so now I have another sponge, and here's the other sponge. I dropped it, so I wet it just a little bit of dampness, and gonna go with what is happening here. Did not intend to do that, and this is way too much purple. But, okay. If you mix purple, and yellow, it kind of turns brownish and muddled, you know, and I don't want that. So I'm going back in with the other sponge, and I put a little bit of the blue on here, the light blue, sky blue light. Oh boy. Now I got some of the orange mixed in. Okay, I need a new sponge. And a new sponge, and I'm going to just go over some of that. Don't like the way that's looking. I just put the colors a little bit too close. Don't want it to go up there. Oh my goodness. I'm making a mess here. Well, that's a shame. Okay. I'm just trying to pick up some of that color, the purple, the dioxazine purple, bring it up just a little bit. Just so that you see some of that purple. It's very strong color, and I'm trying to use it very sparingly. So far it's looking very much just like a nice abstract. Don't mind this at all. This is nice, and those little bits that I picked up by mistake are working out for me here. Now I think this yellow has dried enough, and it's just the sponge that I used to add a little bit more the white. So I'm gonna go back to this sponge and add some of this yellow on top of here. Might as well, if it's gonna be an abstract now. And then I'm going to go back in with the white new sponge and soften that whole thing up. Okay, I don't know how much time that is right now, but it's not very much. I'm gonna go back in. Where is my white? Okay, I might cut this part out just because I'm just putting down my colors. So I've got the sponge that I used before, and just letting the sponge have a little bit of that what am I trying to say here? Texture. Texture from the sponge, just to give this a little bit of interest here. And going back and forth between the sponges that I'm using. And then once I put something down, I like to kind of nestle it in there. You can cover a lot with this, with a sponge, with a canvas this size. And going back to the other sponge. And I did have a sponge, I gotta look for it here, that had just purple. Okay, so this sponge, that's too much, has purple and the titanium. The purple is the dioxazine purple. Haven't changed the purple. New sponge, and I'm going to use the sky blue light here. Part of the problem I'm finding right now is that these colors are a little bit too wet, but they mix nicely. Okay, now after I finish a painting, I always paint the sides either black or white. And so far I'm liking what I see. It's pretty good. So I think I'm gonna call that done. I'm just gonna get you, I'm not done. I don't like this middle part here. It's just a little bit too textured and I don't want that. And already I like that better. So keep going back and forth. Same thing with this down here. Bring some of that blue. I don't know where I am time-wise. I feel very rushed. Very interesting challenge. So I got lost in the details here and forgot to speak, but really I'm just looking at the overall composition, trying to add detail, refining it, just looking at it overall. I always like to look at the overall painting to see how it's all working together. Okay, I guess this challenge isn't good for me. I can't keep from stopping from changing it up. Don't like that yellow through there. And this seems to be rather large, so pare it down. So I did have to switch sides because I normally do that. I'm looking at it from different angles, and so I felt that I needed to go to the other side. And once I'm there, I keep playing around. Sometimes you don't know when you're in it, that you should just stop. And that is an issue. And that's why sometimes for me, I keep going and going because I change my mind. I keep working on it and then I don't like it, or I add something, or accidentally something happens. And then I kind of have to go back and fix what I think is wrong with it. And so this challenge is very hard for me. I found that there is no way that I could do this and be happy with the end result. And really, I do have to be happy with it. I can't just paint and say, here you go, it's done. But I have to be very happy with it. It has to be interesting. It has to be something that I'm proud of. And so that's why I just keep going. So one thing I want you to keep in mind if you're going to try something like this, don't put too much pressure on yourself. This is not a mistake. Each time I'm putting something down on the canvas, you're learning, you're changing, you're seeing how the colors interact with each other, the balance, the composition. There's a lot to think about, and it's got to be pleasing to you and your vision and what you feel is a beautiful painting. So I've had some of the worst paintings that I've worked on, going on and thinking this is a total write-off, just to find that something clicks and then it all comes together and it ends up being one of my best paintings. So don't give up. Okay, I'm liking most of this. Still not crazy about this part here. It's just not working out for me here. Let's do a little bit different. See if that will change my mind about it. Okay, I think I'm past 20 minutes now, and I think at this point you have to decide that it's done, because I could spend a lot more time, but overall I think this is pretty good. And I like that better than it was before. Okay, I think this is done now. There it is. So as you can see, I'm not done. This is why I had doubts about actually being able to create something in 20 minutes. It's just not in me to stop when I know I can do more or better. So I had to keep going just a little longer. You'll see that it does improve. So I'm adding this part because I wanted to do two things. Kind of clean up that area and then also have some contrast. I love that contrast between a dark and a white. I think it really makes a painting pop, something that makes it different. So it could be a color very different that will work together, like let's say blue and red, that kind of clash a little bit but work so well together. And I love that contrast of a darker color with a whiter color. Whenever possible, I also like to kind of darken up the corners. It really kind of is a, I guess, I'm not sure what the term is, silhouette. It brings it in. Your focus comes into the middle of the painting rather than going out towards the corners. And so I do like kind of have a darker four corners to a painting. So I also like to have layers of colors. Some colors that are opaque will cover completely. Some are kind of semi-transparent, which will kind of cover but still see some of it. And then the transparent colors you can see right through. And I like to use the Liquitex matte medium for that because that really helps to bring color on top of color. Now this case I did not use any Liquitex matte medium, it was just the paint. I'm not using any other new colors, it's all the same colors that I have been using all along. So I like to turn the paintings around and I really like it like this. It's upside down. I'm just not liking this part here. So just gonna work on that. And that's just a little bit of the light blue. Very interesting how things can look, I mean, so totally different. From another perspective, like I like seeing the perspective. And I think I'm gonna actually leave it in this direction. Looks very interesting to me. So I haven't cut out anything. You're seeing exactly what I painted, and overall it took me about 25 minutes, so not bad. I do have the colors that I used. I'm going to be showing them to you coming up, and then you'll see the final results. It's amazing to me the versatility of a sponge. I can get really fine lines and make things soft, soften things out. It's really a good tool to use. If you haven't tried it, make sure to give it a go. Let me know if you're gonna try it. So I thought I'd quickly show you what the colors I used: the Liquitex Dioxazine Purple, Amsterdam Sky Blue Light, Liquitex Blue Gray, and that is Pebeo Studio Paynes Gray, Liquitex Cadmium Yellow Deep Hue, and Liquitex Vivid Red Orange. I also used the titanium white and a bunch of sponges, no brushes this time. So I had been working on it this way, but I decided to turn it back around, and I think I really like it this way again. Let me know which way do you like it. The original way, which is this, or the other way, upside down. I still like both. I'm not quite sure which one, how I should wire it. But anyway, all done with sponges, a number of sponges, because I didn't want to mix up the colors. Although I did pick up the yellow and the orange, and I just kind of went with it, just to see, just so that I didn't have to change it up, you know, go with the flow kind of thing. And I think it worked out. So click on the link you see now to see more of my abstract work, and up close images are coming up.